Hey, if you've ever had trouble getting your podcast guest to share their episode with your audience, I've got 3 easy ways to get them to share almost every single time. Coming right up. Okay, so I want to invite you to my virtual therapy couch. Podcasting's very hard, and you may be struggling with something very specific, and you just need someone to lean on. So I want to invite you to go to speakpipe.com/poddex, ask a question, and I will answer it on the show and give you my personalized advice for you, okay? Today's question comes from Megan. Let's hear what she has to say.
Hey Travis, I'm having trouble getting my guests to share my podcast with their audience. Any tips on how I can get them to share?
Okay, so you've just recorded an interview. You had this wonderful chemistry with your guest. You're very excited. The podcast episode comes out and you scroll with your little scrolling thumbs down to see what they've posted, and they've posted nothing about sharing your podcast interview. It can feel like the biggest rejection in the world. And I just want to tell you, it's probably not personal. People are busy. They've got a lot of things going on. And I've got 3 ways that you can almost guarantee that you're going to get them to share your episode. Okay. So let's start with number 1. Okay. This is very easy. The second that you're done with your Zoom call or your interview, you're going to sit down with a pen and a thank you note, and you're going to handwrite them a thank you note for being on your podcast. You're going to specifically tell them that you're so grateful to share their message with your audience and that you had such a wonderful time and you hope you can do it again. Doesn't have to be, a Shakespearean love letter, just something that will stick out from the crowd, okay? So you're going to mail this to them as soon as possible. And what that's going to do is that's going to create a wonderful bond between that person and you automatically, because 99.9% of podcasters will not write a handwritten thank you note. They'll send an email, or they'll have an automated thank you, or they'll just simply ask the person to share, okay? But they're not writing a thank you note. Think about it. The last time you received something that was handwritten, it felt special, didn't it? It felt like somebody had taken time out of their day to do something nice for you, and it felt good. So we're going to do that for our guests. We're going to show them that we're actually grateful for their time and excited to be connected with them, okay? So that's step 1. Every guest, write a thank you note. Now, step 2 is going to be to help them, almost do the work for them to promote your episode. So whatever you use to email your guests, you're going to include some pre-made promotions for their episode. That could simply be an audiogram that you made, a static image that shares a quote from the podcast. But the key here is that we want to do the work for them. We do not want to ask them to promote our podcast and then have them have to do work for us. Now, because we've sent this thank you note, our email is going to get opened, okay? It's going to get opened quickly because they already have a wonderful feeling about us because we sent them a thank you note. And they're going to open up their email and it's going to say, hey, your episode's going to come out on Tuesday. I just wanted to let you know I put together some materials for you if you felt like promoting the episode. Here's an audiogram. Here's a quote. You have to make them in a couple different formats, which is very easy to do with headliner.app or canva.com. And tee it up for them. Make it so seamlessly stupid easy that it would almost be dumb for them not to, because you've created content for them to release on that day, okay? So you don't want to just simply write an email saying, hey, it'd be great if you promote the podcast today. Your podcast comes out, whatever, right? You want to tee it up. You want to send them a link to a folder full of different items, different sizes, Instagram, Facebook, YouTube, whatever you can, okay? So do the work for them, okay? Now, number 3, and this is a super top secret hack, so any spies that are listening right now, plug your ears, okay? This is my favorite way to trick somebody into sharing my podcast episode with their audience, okay? So let's say we sent them a thank you note and we also sent them the pre-made marketing to promote our episode, and they didn't do it. That's okay. We're also going to invite them to go live with us about 5 days after our episode launches. So let's just say this episode comes out on Monday. I'm going to say, hey, guest, something that I do with a lot of my guests is we go live on Friday. And we just have a quick live, maybe 10 minutes where we sort of recap that we've had this conversation and promote the episode. It's sort of like a mini podcast, a bonus mini podcast. It'd be awesome if I could sign you up to do that. Now, if you can lock somebody into being on your podcast for a half an hour or an hour, it's a pretty easy ask to get them to go live with you for 10 minutes. So what this does, whether they know it or not, is that when you go live with someone else, it notifies your audience that, hey, Poddex is live. But whoever I go live with, it also notifies their audience that they're live, okay? So it's basically like a free way to promote that you've done this podcast together. And you can keep it brief. You could use something like Poddex to ask a couple fun questions during the live, which is my favorite thing to do with Poddex. It doesn't have to be a recycled version of your podcast, but just something to extend the fact that, hey, we released this episode this week, okay? And not everyone will do it, but the ones that will, it will automatically get shared to their audience because the algorithm saves us all and tells their audience that they're live with us. So we're going to get some easy, automatic cross-pollination. That's some good corporate speak right there, of our audiences. So let's recap this. The 3 easy ways to get people to share your interviews. 1, write a thank you note. Write a nice little quick thank you note and pop it in the mail. 2, do the promotion work for them. Make it so easy for them to promote your podcast. It would be stupid not to. Give them an audiogram, give them a quote post, give them what they need to promote your show. And 3, invite them to go live. It's a lot of fun. You could use Poddex to just do a quick round robin questions or fast-paced Q&A, or just recap the fun parts of your episode. And those are 3 ways that you will get more podcasters to share your interviews with their audience. Hey, did you quit podcasting? I know, podcasting is very easy to start, but it can be really easy to get off track, right? And then once you stop for a little while, you just feel like quitting because you've let yourself down. But hey, listen, it doesn't have to be like that. I've made you a tool called Poddex. This has 50 unique episode starting prompts on it. All you have to do is pull a card and start podcasting spontaneously. 50 ideas in the palm of your hand. That's almost like a year's worth of podcasting if you podcast every week, okay? Now, the best part is I believe in you, and I think that your voice is special, and I want you to have this deck for free. That's right. All I ask is that you pay for shipping, okay? So go to free.poddex.com, claim your episode deck today. I've got a limited quantity available, and this can help you remain consistent. Whether or not your guest cancels, you're not feeling inspired, or you just need some way to practice podcasting, the Poddex episode deck is for you. So, what are you waiting for? Go to free.poddex.com, get yours today.